What's actually going on, family? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Sorry for the delay. I'm 10 minutes late, but we here finally. Uh, Rushed to get here, which is never really a good sign. Or is it? It's never really a good sign. Let's keep it a buck. But we here. That's what's important. We here. 5 minutes before the open. You know. Yeah. Had a few things that I needed to take care of, but that is done. Now we're back, and we have power, and the Wi-Fi is working. Yay! So hopefully today's gonna be a good day, man. Hopefully today's gonna be a good day. We are 5 minutes away from the open, so there's a chart back on stream. I'm gonna switch this to the candlesticks. We are gonna be trading account 2, and look, I what do I want to say? I don't want to lock this. I don't want to lock the accounts just yet, but I should. So I'm gonna switch to test 4, which is account 1, and I'm gonna lock that now. So we're only trading this account until we get rid on the day. So setting that lockout now. Cool. I'm gonna go back to test 5 because that's where we at. And this account is in drawdown, so not much we can, not a lot we can do about that. But but we're here now. So this is our overnight session. I already drew my previous day values yesterday, so I think I'll just mark them out on TradeC now whilst we wait. 750475 75 7504 75. That's our previous day value area high. Our previous day point of control is 49550. 49550. The cool thing about this is that I don't need to rush and like draw out my overnight value areas and all of that stuff, because it is being marked out for us. It is being drawn out for us right now. So 462.5 previous day value area low. 462.5. I wonder what type of day we're gonna have today, man. I mean, of course I want it to be good. So there's that. 482.75. 482. 1, 2, 3. 75. Point of control. 444. Triple four. And what's our? I think this is supposed to be our value area low. Previous week value area low. 408. 408. Does look like we are making way above previous week value, which is positive, I guess. We can have a look over here and you see what the volume looks like. That was yesterday's value. This is all regular trading hours, so yeah, we did move above that. So here we go. That's the open. We open within value, so unless we get a clean break on one side, maybe we could target, what's this, 551? 551, because that's the, yeah, 551. We'll see. We'll just switch in between and just check and make sure, but yeah, that's the bell, man. Let me mark out the overnight value now. Keep switching between tabs, like, oh, okay, let me close that. I know we're live, so damn, I really thought this new internet connection would stop that shit from happening, but clearly not. Clearly not. It doesn't matter. I mean, it matters. It's just, it just makes me a little uncomfortable, but it is only the first minute, so I'm not too stressed about it. But yeah, let's mark these overnight values now. What are we saying? What is this? 509.50. Overnight value area high. 509.50. 509. 509.50. And then we'll figure out what we want to do. What we can do, what would make sense, what the auction looks like. 507.75. Sell point of control. 507.75. 507. 1, 2, 3, 75. 2 minutes into the open. Nothing was really interesting at this point. I mean, I guess the overlap of the the previous day point of control and our value area, our overnight value area low, I guess that kind of makes that a strong-ish level, which we're already at. So it just seems like we just gotta bounce off that. Overnight value area low, and yeah, 495.75. 495. 1, 2, 3, 75. All right, let's make this a little wider. I really don't like seeing the watermark. I've tried to save it, so that it doesn't always come out like that, but Tracy has its own ideas. But yeah, we have the overnight level set, so just gonna remove that. And so what are we seeing over here to the left? It's the previous day value over here. And it shouldn't look like that. Here we go. Previous day value, point of control, as we said, little volume node over here, 489. Little low volume node, 489. So we'll keep that in mind when we get around there. If we do get around there. But yeah, let's watch today's value. Let's see what's happening right now. Yeah, I do kind of see a rotational day-ish. I don't know what this range is. Where are you? Range? Okay. Well, it's not in the arrows, that's for sure. There we go. See what we have. 9 points. Not bad. But 10 points range so far. But yeah, only 5 minutes in. But I seem to be in control. So we'll see. We'll see if we can get a clean break of this previous day value area high. You know, and then maybe 550s are in play. Maybe. I don't know. We're just gonna have to read the delta. That's gonna be important for us to see. And well, that's how we're gonna kind of determine what we're doing. But yeah, but it could be rotational. You know, we could just go previous day value high, previous day value low, previous day. But I mean, the previous day value low is way down here, so that would be a much cleaner trade. You know, even though there's the previous week point of control down here. But yeah, I mean, everything is just gonna be determined by our delta. So none more to it. None much we can do right now. You just gotta sit and wait. Yeah, maybe that's a little too big. But yeah, let's see. Found some really interesting. Yeah, had some pretty interesting data. Just like looking at the delta. You know, watching the delta, which is what we have at the top over here, 407, 406, 412, whatever. Yeah, you know, just found that a little interesting. Let me move this slightly this way, so I just make sure that we are moving. Boss. I just want to make sure that we are where we're supposed to be. See, we're not. It's not really matching right now, is it? Previous day value high. That break has already happened. We haven't got it on motive wave just as of yet. Either that or yeah, we're not really getting a clean. Not really clean with the timing, is it? Let's see how we close. Because I mean, again, it could be just a thing of like it's the MES. I'm charting the ES and trading on the MES, so you know, could be that, or it just could be a thing of we do have a lag. You know, which kind of start getting used to, which is not a good thing to get used to. But yeah, you see what I'm saying? It's kind of like got to the overnight point of control, rejected that, broke that value area high, rejected that. So we could rotate to the other side of this volume profile, so 499. Could be that type of day. Delta's shifting lower. But yeah, but I hope you've been having I hope you've had a good week so far, man. Hope you've had a good week so far. $4.99, $4.99. Called it. Value area low. To the top. Overnight point of control. Here we go. I'm looking at 505. No music today. I don't know. Should I add some music? I don't know. 15:41. 5 more minutes until my trading window's officially open. POC's shifted higher. POC is officially at the previous day value area high. So previous day value area high is fair value right now. Well, let's see. Do we agree on price here? Overnight point of control. Did we break that? Nope. No, not yet. We break the overnight value high or reject. Pretty tight. I think what's going to be important today is just like knowing when to do something and when not to. You know what I mean? The delta is still, it's kind of like rotating. It's like slightly negative and then it becomes positive and slightly negative and slightly positive. So until we get like one side clearly in control, you know what I mean? Until there's like clear evidence of like, oh, sellers are in control or buyers are in control, I think I'll just kind of sit on my hands for a little bit. Even though I do kind of feel the urge to like click a button. You know, I do see this rotating, but 508 to what? To 501, it looks like. 500, 575. Not really worth the risk right now. Also, just watching the CVD, I mean, not much happening on the CVD. Not just as of yet. Overnight value area high, do we accept above it? Yeah, because that looks like a break of previous day value area high. Very thin volume profile. Very, very thin at the top of that volume profile. So no real acceptance just as of yet. I mean, we can see it over here. We can see it on what do they call it? On trade C, you know. Rotated all the way down. Previous day value area high now. Do we find support? Just gotta watch it. Just gotta be patient. It's either the MES is like really ahead or it's my software. You know, because that should be a new candle now, which we got. right at the previous day value area high, but it's not what's reflecting on my chart. Here we go. Overnight point of control. Clean break and hold above the overnight value area high though. Could be case enough for a clean break. But yeah, but these charts look totally different. Let me just look at how clean it looks on the MES. I mean on the ES, which is what you're seeing on the big screen. You know, what's right in the middle. You know, that black candle, this black candle over here, and compare it to the last one on trade C. You know, it doesn't really look the same, does it? You know, that's more of a wick on the MES. You know, so rotational day. Could be a rotational day, man. Could be a we do that type of thing. But yeah, okay, that's a VWAP. That's a VWAP retest. So this is like a 5 point move. Like I don't really feel too excited about getting involved in this just as of yet. Also, just looking at the CVD, you know, there's no real intent just yet, you know. So we see this like a really strong break, maybe a break above 1204, you know, on the CVD. See some maybe 1224. Then I'll be like, okay, cool. We have buying pressure, you know, we have buying pressure. But right now, it kind of feels like they're hitting a wall, you know. Yeah. I also don't want to short it just yet. You know, I don't want to short it just yet. 1547. Point of control, one more time. If the value area high on the developing profile, if this can shift higher, if it can shift to where the opening range high is, then I could be interested in a short. But right now, I'm not really too enthused. Am I tripping or these charts don't look the same? Sure, I'm not tripping. Tripping on you. 30 more seconds. Yeah, because I did mark the levels correctly, didn't I? 504.75. 507.75. Yeah. So, I mean, motor wave is just being motor wave, as it always is. Just have to wait. Yeah, I don't wanna be involved in like 4 point moves, buddy. Clean break above the overnight value area high though? Maybe. And maybe. I need a clean break and close, but failure of that, I don't know. I wouldn't want to be involved in that. Not right now. This is a knife fight. Also, CVD is picking up, but price isn't. You see that? On the right, cumulative delta, 1063, 1061 over here. Like, see, that's pushing up, but look at this. Sellers involved. Sellers are pushing this lower, but the CVD is going higher, so, you know. means there's a lot of buying, but they're not getting resolved just yet. Just yet. Oh, POC. Okay, here we go. Overnight value area high, overlapping with the developing volume profile, value area high. Yeah, I think I want to break. I want to break and then a retest. Not get into it, not front run it, you know. Okay, cool, 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 cool. It's a little more intent. Give us the break. Motherfucker. Didn't mean like at once. Stop will go here, 499. Maybe we can make it a little wider. Son of a bitch, it's not gonna come back. Who are you? I mean, we just took these highs. Do we get a retest? Doesn't look like it, fam. You know, at that moment, I did think of putting a buy stop. I was like, yeah, maybe let's put a buy stop, but nope. Sucks because that's really our only level. That's the only level we got right now. Pretty clean. Maybe let's just wait. Let's wait and see if we get the retest. That's a clear break of. I guess maybe we could have called it from the break of the previous day value area high, but I mean, let's wait and see. Do we get a retest of it? Where will our stop go? Stop will go. If you said 499, stop will go at the bottom of this candle. Maybe not right where liquidity is. Yeah, our stop will go at the previous day point of control. Put our stop at 495. Waiting and seeing. I think a 551 target, maybe. Yeah, man. And like, look at the delta. The delta just like shot up quickly. Did we get the retest or nah? I mean, where these buyers stepped in, where the first one stepped in, 510.50 could be where we actually try and get an entry. 510.50. Let's wait and see. pretty ridiculous break though. I don't think that's gonna come back, eh? Let's have a look at the volume profile over here. Yeah, look, I think if we hit 551, if we hit 551, which looks imminent, uh, yeah, if we have 551, which kind of looks like that's 541, 551. If we get there first, doesn't look like it's gonna reverse for us. Or could it? Mm. Maybe this was our entry. Just kind of looking at the previous day value area high. Maybe that was where we should have placed our entry. Of course, in hindsight, it's like, oh, you should have done that at the previous day value high. But there was reason enough to not really trust that level. You know. So yeah, I think let's just wait for the overnight value area high retest. We get it or we don't. We get it or we don't. I don't want to make arbitrary levels. You could look at like these volume nodes as an entry. Between 512, 510.75. But yeah, nothing much we can do right now except wait. Just gotta wait. We also need to watch the delta because if we do retrace and we get to the overnight value area high, this delta is gonna shift, yeah. And the shifting of that delta, we would need to see it pick up once we get tagged in, or maybe around the overnight point of control. Just depends on this view app, whether this view app can move higher as well. Yeah. Outside of that, maybe we just like sweep the liquidity at 517.50 and we continue higher. Looks like is what's gonna happen. Look at that, CVD's picking up again. Did we fuck up? I don't think so. I don't think so. We have a shorter trading week this week because July the 4th on Saturday. So yeah. All right. Well, look at that. Sellers at the top. Sellers at the top. So maybe we start coming lower. It just depends on whether we close above 528 or not. If we don't, then I can see us retracing, coming to retest these levels, maybe come and scoop some liquidity for the up move, but I do like the overnight value area high as an entry. 510 now looks a little more like the thing. It's a developing volume profile, value area high. Let's see. CVD kind of looking a little dried up at the top there. It's picking up 519. Ah, look at this. Value area high just keeps shifting higher and higher. 512.50. I don't want to chase it, to be honest. 513.50. We might actually get a retrace here. Might get a bounce. 514. 514.50. Looks like this is where it might actually bounce. 514.50. $5.15. Sellers at the top for that candle. Really pushing for this move to go lower. Failed. Let's just sit on our hands. Let's just wait. Let's just wait. We have an institutionally backed level, which is either going to fill us or it's not. But yeah, it's just, I don't see it coming back now. I mean, look at that. That seller's at the bottom of the candle, so it'd be gone. But yeah, look, our VWAP is right on our overnight value area high, so maybe we get tagged in. Maybe we get tagged in on a VWAP overlap with an overnight value area high. Delta is so strong though. I'm not gonna lie. 3,000. Sellers at the top of this candle as well. 108. They break that, this is gone. 527. It's gone, bro. Yeah. 515.75. Mm-mm-mm. Pretty much nothing we can do here. Just not thinking about it, right? I mean, this was a valid entry. Could have been a great fucking trade, but considering where it is now on the volume profile, all right, if we do break this, of which, think about it, for us to get this trade, we do need this value area high to break. And if it does break, then the other side of it is very much in play. You know, at least the previous day value area high is very much in play. So now that that's kind of changed, you know, I don't see this working out for us. I don't see it really working out for us like that. You know, just considering that, you know, a retest of this, if this fails to hold, if 519 fails to hold, you know, what is it now? 520. So kind of looking for a retest at 520. I guess that will be the next best entry. Um, and what's see, and our delta is also still pretty strong. You know, so maybe this area here is 512. Yeah, like 512 ish. So we have this low volume node. I guess maybe like 512. It's where I would see a bounce. You know, but I am also kind of a little tentative about it because, as I was saying, for us to get this entry, we do need to rotate inside value. And once we rotate inside value, you know, the point of control, the developing volume profile point of control is in play, as well as its value area low, which is also stacked with the previous day point of control and the overnight value area low. So, you know, this kind of seems a little aggressive now. You know, the initial move which we missed, right? The initial move which we missed is gone. I think that move is done now. Pretty much. The only kind of logical thing would be 520. 520 to hold. You know? 520 to hold. And also, you know, if we rotate within this, we also, you know, we also would need to go below the VWAP. The VWAP would have to not hold. The VWAP doesn't hold, and now we're below the VWAP. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I don't know, man. Was our initial trade idea, but I'm not too confident about it anymore. I think I'm allowed to feel that way, given the current circumstances, right? So what do I do? Need to make a decision and call it at 10 past. Need to make a decision real quick. Let's let it play out. 12-point stop loss from here would be 497, 497.50. This is where our stop would go, tentatively. For 97.50. For 97.50. And we break within this, we are gonna rotate. I feel. I'm gonna switch this. I don't trust this anymore. What are we looking at? 521.50. Here we go. We either hold this or we don't. but also our delta is shifting lower. So I'll put a sell stop, make that 5. What's my thinking behind this? That was actually pretty close. 521.50. Value area high is 52175. Oh, fuck me. Delta is still kind of shifting lower. You know what? Like, my bet was we were rotating and we're back at the value area high, right? And we're back at the value area high. I'm also looking at the CVD. I'm seeing delta shift. I'm seeing delta change. My thing is, if we do close within this value, right? If we do close within this value area, below 52275, right? If we break below 52275, then I can see a case where, maybe 513 would be a target. You know what I mean? Because we do have a low volume node over there. But then I also see if we do break inside this value area, then I can see why we could rotate to the other side of this. You know what I mean? So tentatively, I mean, our stop should go here at 528. You know what I mean? Let me see. Stop should go here. Let me just mark this out. Not make it a hot. Five, 2, 8, 529. Five to nine would be, I think 5 to 9 should be where we actually put our stop. Maybe above 529. Here, actually, to be honest. Could be so wrong about this. But yeah, but I mean, look at this. Like, our value area is also shifted, right? So yeah, actually 532. That's where my stop is gonna go. If I'm wrong, right? If I'm wrong, we go back to the value area high. 532.75. If I'm wrong about this, I'm wrong about this. So shit, it is what it is. This is now a point of control. 523 is our point of control, so could be the same thing that happened over here. You know what I mean? Could be the same thing. So the CVD looking like I'm gonna move this a little above 532.75. Look, I'm sorry. Yeah, 532.50. Yeah. Where are we at with our point of control? 524.75. And I mean, man, look, this value area just shifted higher now. It's at 505, so let's respect that. 500 and 505. Mm. And the delta is still kind of round about the same area. So I mean, like the buys haven't completely given up on this. You know what I mean? So it's not looking it's not looking too great for us, but I mean it's not completely a train smash, you know, so just one of those we kind of entered in the middle of a knife fight. I mean, we could still bet for 495, but 495.75. You know what? Like shit. Let's go for it. Let's go for initial balance. You know, and see how that plays out. We'll trail our stop. We'll make that the max we can get from it if we're right about this. But watching the delta 3,500. I mean, I feel like if this gets up to the 4,000s, we should consider getting out, you know. But if we can get into like the 2,000s, that would be fucking fantastic. But seems like buyers are keeping this pretty up there right now, you know. So there is that. We did kind of enter in the middle of a knife fight. You know, we're also just kind of like in there. So and we do have quite a lot of roadblocks, you know, to keep it a buck. I mean, there's the VWAP over there. We also have the overnight value area high, the overnight point of control, previous day value area high. A lot of levels that need to fall. Um, you know, so there is that. You know, that is something that we need to also consider. CVD kind of looks like it's stalling a little. Like there's a big wall of some sort. Hope I'm right. But yeah, but that switch of the value area high kind of gave me a little more confidence that we were on the right side of this. You know, it doesn't look like it really. It doesn't look like much right now. You know, and also, I mean, it is overlapping with the initial balance, so there is that. You know, so yeah. Look, our deltas picked up, so I think we'll catch an early stop here. If we get stopped up, yeah. Let's take that stop because the delta did pick up, and that kind of made me a little uncomfortable. So I mean, we still kind of have another roll at this. I'm just not, yeah. Here we go. Okay, let's see. Let's see what happens at 5:32. We could time a break. Good time on initial balance break. That's in 7 minutes. It's gotta give me 2 more minutes. Give me 5 minutes. I'll be back. What did I miss? All right, look, we're back. Yeah, look, our delta is kind of picking up, right? So, I mean, 532, you just kind of have to time this to perfection because we could get a break of initial balance and just keep going higher, you know? So, um, I'm gonna front run this now, all right? I'm gonna, yeah. And then we'll add, you know, and then we'll add positions as we're going higher. And we're like, way 519. 515, really. 509. I think 509 will be our stop here. Oops. And we'll add, yeah, our stop is gonna go at the overnight value high. Excuse me. Yeah, and we will add, I'll add another 5 at the top here at 535. 535.50. Just gonna watch our CVD. We're gonna watch our CVD. Honestly, I mean, our stop should go at 524. So maybe let's just put this here. 524. This is me anticipating a break. This is me anticipating a break of 533.50 in the next 15 or so seconds. Here we go. That's initial balance. Delta stepping in 5370. Here we go. So fucking why'd I stop? 524. 551 is the target. That's insane. Why 551, you might ask? Pretty strong acceptance of it. See if we hold 533. As long as we don't get a retest of it, we're fine. CVD's accepting it, which is great. Need a break above 537. What's my thinking behind this? This just targeting this level 556.25 actually. 556.25. Yeah. we can hold above it would be great. And we have kind of accepted a little bit of value there. I just don't want to see this delta shift. Because that would be awkward. That will be somewhat awkward. And we should be good though. This is our structural invalidation point. I'm just changing my lockout settings again, which is not a fantastic thing. But 556.25. Let's just sit on our hands and watch, eh? Look, our value area high is above initial balance, so maybe we have a shot. Maybe we have a shot. Just maybe. Delta picking up, which is great. Is it picking up or is it drying up? $542.5. That's our value area high. 542.5. Can we break above that? It's moved higher now. Just need to sit tight. Just need to sit tight and trust the data. Retest to this volume node. 538. I mean, there's a low volume node down here. 535. So it would be a big son of a bitch if it does rotate here. Delta's gone back into the 5,000s. Let me switch on a light, because I feel like I was a bit of a villain trading in the dark. Trading in the dark. Can't even see myself. Can't even see my face. buyer stepped in at 535. Which is that low volume node as I mentioned. Does that get filled? Or does that hold? Just keep watching the delta. If things change all of a sudden, and it's the retest. That's the retest of initial balance. I need this to hold. Well, otherwise it's goodbye. Yeah, it's not looking good, fam. I ain't gonna lie to you. I need buyers to step in right now. That's our last ditch. Our last ditch is 529. Here we go. Initial balance. Do we hold this or do we go to VWAP? Need this number to shift it back into the 5,000s. Otherwise, yeah. Otherwise, it's goodbye and it's good night. 4.8, 4.8, 4,700, 4.9. Need a strong presence of buyers. Okay, we go 5,000. We need them to step in pretty aggressively and to get this delta back up to the 6,000s. And then maybe we have a pretty good chance. You know what I mean? Honestly, a break of this low of 531, a break of this low would be an invalidation. You know, so let's just watch that. Delta has shifted higher though, so I feel like every time I say the delta has shifted higher, it shifts lower. Anytime I'm like, oh, the delta shifted higher, delta's like, have I now? Is that right? Yeah, the slow falls, guys. That's pretty much it. And it does kind of look like that's actually what might happen. We will just kind of take the full loss here, hey? What is this, 518? Ugh. I don't like this. This is uncomfortable. I guess. 515. I'm just using the view app to protect our stop. Just in case we get wicked out or something. 515.75. looking at this candle. I mean, we are in it now. I mean, we still kind of do have bias, but I mean, like not as, not as strongly as we had earlier. We were in the 51%, as far as the bid ask percentage is concerned, but 50.94 now, back at initial balance. Does need to break right now. If this doesn't, then I think we are just gonna have to accept the stop, at this low, over here, which is what, 529. I think a break of 529, guys. I think that's like pretty much it. Yeah, we'll manually close. We'll manually close because all we'll have after that is the point of control. So yeah, the stars kind of need to hold above initial balance. If it doesn't look as strong, if we don't get a strong break, I don't see us hitting that 556, which is our target. But yeah, but here we go. I guess this is kind of our turning point ish. If we can break these highs, if we break these highs, then I'm pretty confident that we're gonna get it. It's 541.75. You know. Oh, there we go. 533.50. Do you break it or hold it? Yep, not looking very good. Let's see, do they take this low or not? Does this get defended? Nah, that was taken. Because think about it, like where are our next stops? Our stops are here at 519, and then the last level of stops, I guess, would be at 515. Which is right where our stop loss is. So if we can't hold the point of control, man, I mean, that move is pretty dead. So 524. 524. Yeah, because that wasn't a stronghold of the initial balance. The only kind of quote unquote hope we can have is that it was a fake out, and we're just looking for liquidity, which the liquidity does lie here. 519, 519, that's kind of where we're looking at. It's kind of what we're seeing as liquidity, you know. But also, if that doesn't hold, I mean, if the point of control falls, then, which the buyers are kind of still there. They are kind of still there. They are kind of still holding this up. But we would need to see a strong presence of buyers. We would need to see a strong presence of buyers if we are gonna go all the way up to 556, which is looking a little tougher each minute that goes by, isn't it? That's the point of control. 524. Do we find support here? Or never that? Some form of a battle going on. Seems like buyers are trying to step in. Seems like it. Yep, all buyers did step in. Delta did move up from 3,200 to 3,700. So buyers still kind of in control of this auction so far, man. But there is a lot of selling pressure coming in. There's a lot of selling pressure coming in. So, we're gonna have to see one side get fully exhausted. Like either the sellers completely get run over or the buyers get run over. The buyers are still kind of in it right now. Just from the delta as we're seeing. But they are significantly more from the last time. Like the sellers really have kind of upped this. You know what I mean? So let's see. Let's see what happens on the reload. Do the sellers take this back or do the buyers hold this little battle? And then again, if the buyers do hold it, then what's going to be what we want to see is how we interact here at 533.50. Can we hold above 533.50? Yeah. Up my risk quite considerably. No lie. We would have been out of this trade a long time ago. Maybe we should have been, I guess we'll only know fully at the end of the stream. Another thing I've kind of been thinking about, right? I've been thinking around like trader education, like the stuff that I'm doing now and journaling these trades and the entertainment value of it. And generally like thinking about it like whether I care that much about the entertainment side of it or the education part of it. And I mean, Right now, it's just like where my life is. I'm not too enthused by the idea of entertainment. I hope you get to learn something. I'm also like doing this for like my own journaling purposes, and you know, it is my hope. It is my hope that like I am trying to trade these accounts for the next 90 days. This is me being aggressive though at the same time. Like, I could maybe take it a little easier. Just as far as like say my uh my approach to the market and all of that. you know but I do want to hit these goals, and I do want to make these targets. You know what I'm saying? Because I have done like the first 30 days. So um yeah. Yeah, look, sellers have really stepped in, man. This is our point of control test again. Our view apps at 520. So if we fall below 520, how big would this be? This is massive though. That like pretty much almost blows our account. Overnight value area high. Here we go, view app. Is this support off the view app? Oh no. Does view app hold or nah? I mean, there still are more. Uh, there's still more us, right? There's still more a higher percentage on the R side. Still, just like looking at this number over here, 50.47. So I mean, maybe this also could be hopium. It really could have been like out of this a long time ago. I did say at the bottom of like these lows, right? I did call that, but I didn't take that. I didn't take that stop. So uh, this is probably gonna stop us out, to be honest. Um, yeah. There is the value area high, value area low at 513. I keep adding the levels, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. But yeah, this could be a blown account. Uh, yeah, I think this is gonna stop us out because I did put our Daily loss. I put out DLL at 1,000, which I'm sure it wouldn't surprise you was not the plan. But yeah, but this does look like it's gonna stop us out. Buyers are stepping at the bottom of this, so I mean, whatever happens at this point happens. Partly also like still holding on to this is looking at the ask side, you know. I mean, like super deep in drawdown here. You know what I mean? Uh, yeah, that's a last ditch at. I really don't want to get stopped out. I've done, I've done this. I think I've done this like 3 or 4 times, and of the 3 or 4 times, I've only escaped with it like once. I only got away with it one time. You know, from not just from not accepting the loss. Just not accepting the this is an L. You know, um, yeah. So we are gonna have to revisit. We're all gonna have to revisit a lot of things. Uh, yeah, the mentality behind the trades, and also just why I'm just not willing to just take the loss. I guess maybe also it was easy when I didn't have to think about it too much, when it was just like set at 200, right? So if I get stopped out, I get stopped out, and then that's that. And then I move on to the next account, or I move on, with my day or whatever. But this is kind of like this is like, how can I put this? I know I have a high probability of being right about it. I think I just one I sized wrong. I entered with two contracts, and then I added five, right? Whereas I should have just added another one. I should have just like scaled in. That's like one, 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 one. But I entered with five, so I'm in this position. So that's already something that's a problem. Um, Two, because I'm also watching the delta, right? I can see we still have a strong presence of buyers. You know what I mean? I can still, like, it does look bearish, but buyers are still in control of what's going on right now. You know, um, I also know that we reload at VWAPs. You know what I'm saying? And I know our rotational days, right? I did call a rotational day earlier, right? And then we broke above that, and I did expect a retest of the overnight value area high, which we didn't get, right? We just kind of like went above that, and we didn't have another level to retest. And I did try a short once this thing had happened, right? Where, you know, I entered short from the value area high, and I was targeting the value area low. And then just like from reading the delta, I could see that like, no, actually, um, buyers were still in control. And so once I peeped that, right, once I saw that, that's when I exited my trade, right? I just like moved my stop closer so we could have another shot at it, which is this, right? So one missed opportunity, one spotted wrong trade, and also again, like I do have a, I it's not like an inkling like where it's like, I feel like, oh, we're gonna go long or whatever, but it is a thing where it's like I am looking at it and I'm like, yeah, but like this is what's going to happen, you know, um, not what's going to happen, because now that makes me sound like an oracle or whatever, but I'm just saying that it looks it from what I'm seeing and from what I'm reading, you know, yeah, maybe if I had been a little patient, maybe I could have waited for the retest of this, or maybe I could have just shorted the initial balance. But even if I had done that, I would have had to wait for, you know, kind of maybe like this break and then the retest of it and short it then, you know. But my thing is 751s, 756, 750s are in play, and my reasoning for that is because I'm seeing it on the composite volume profile. It's like right here, 754. So, you know, and it's just like if you're just looking at the volume profiles right now, you know, that was Friday, this was yesterday, this is today's volume profile. And you see, we're moving higher. So if we are gonna find a place where we're gonna rotate, I do believe it will have to be around here. You know, so how wrong am I about that? How off am I about that? And look at that. I mean, like, yeah, our delta's also shifted. Remember, we were at like 2000, yeah, when the 2000s, yeah, now we're at 4000. So, yeah, just gonna have to wait and see, I guess. There's nothing more to it. Nothing more to it. My sizing is off though. My sizing is off. I think I am trying to catch like some home runs and stuff, which is counterproductive because if I do get stopped out of this ruins everything that I've worked on this entire month. So is that smart? Not really. It's not, is it? It's not the best way to go about it. You know, it's not a good way to go about it at all. So, you know, our point of control still hasn't shifted. We are still at 524. It's the point of control. Yeah. But yeah, a break of 533 and a break above it, above these highs that was set when we broke the initial balance, then maybe we do that 550, whatever, 554, 556 as I, you know, excuse me, not as I predicted, but like as I kind of was calling for, you know. So yeah. Risk appetite's gone up quite a lot. Quite a lot. I also need to start thinking around like if I am gonna be doing this for the long term, right? Which I do plan on. Right? I am gonna need to be a lot more risk averse, and I am gonna need to play defense a lot more. This was a super defensive move, but like also like risky. You know, it's kind of like one of those things where you defend so deeply. You're defending so deeply. If you've been defending deeply. I know it's like a football, soccer. Uh, Example where you're defending so deeply for so long, right? That you've been doing this for like 90 minutes of the game. That if you do get scored in the 96th minute, you haven't given yourself enough time, you know? You know what I'm saying? Like it just kind of hurts a lot more. I guess also in sport, you wouldn't just accept 1-0 defeat, you know? But it's not soccer. It's not soccer, is it? But yeah, just let it play out. Let's look at 30 minutes and compare and just see where we are with the 30-minute candles in relation to initial balance. That's interesting. Oops. So this was our first 30 minutes off the initial balance and we rotated lower. So it looks like we want to be within this range. So to keep it a buck, you know, it does look like we want to be within the initial balance. Our value area high is above initial balance though, so do I expect a retest of it? You know, yeah. I did a little model where I was testing how often we get a break once we've once our value area high has gone above IB, and that happens somewhat pretty, not all the time. It was more like 50 something percent, so it's like a 1 and 2, where if the value area high goes above the initial balance, like as we have here, value area high, initial balance, that if value area high goes above it, that we get a break and that we get a continuation of the move after initial balance has been set, right? Also, at the same time, what's an even better statistic is once we have a value area high and the point of control above the initial balance, and then it was almost like 70 something percent. And also, this was within my trading window. My trading window being, uh, before before lunch, before the lunch o'clock, before the lunchtime traders come in and ruin the market. So so there is kind of that which I am also slightly leaning on. They're like, maybe now that we have value area high above, you know maybe if we get a retest of this value area high, what I would like to see us creating and forming value above it. you know but yeah, but we do need to break this initial balance, otherwise, you know yeah. And I mean, again, just like looking at the delta, like the buyers are there. The buyers are there. You know, I will get better at this, guys. I promise you. I don't intend on stopping. I don't intend on stopping. Even if it's a thing where it's like, oh, this takes me 5 years to master. I know after that 5 years, I know I'm gonna be a lot. I'm gonna be really good at it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be at market wizards level. So I just kind of need to put in the. I need to put in the time now. But yeah, give me 1 second, guys. What's going on, chat? We back. All right. Well, here we go. It's a clean break of the initial balance. Clean-ish break. Uh, yeah. Where do we put our stop? I think let's move our stop back. Let's move our stop up to 517 right here. Because surely, if we do get back within here, 516.75, we do get back there. That's you know, we just need to swallow this. You know what I mean? Um, yeah. Let's watch for this retest of initial balance because I can see us coming and maybe trying to get some liquidity here because there are some stops here at 525. So, you know, but yeah, but this was encouraging. I mean, if you're looking at this on the CVD, pretty clean break. That's like some intent, at least from the buyers, so let's see if they can hold this, if they can hold this charge higher. Hold this charge higher, we try and, we get to the value area high, which is 539, try and break 539. If we can break 539, break these highs, then cool. Then I think our 556 is in play, yeah, just give it some time and see, let's give it some time and see. Also, kind of like analyzing my trades using Claude AI does give me ideas, kind of just like a couple of ideas around maybe position sizing, which is also something that I've been thinking about, where if I'm not entirely confident about a trade idea, I could go at it with like fewer contracts. So instead of like going at it with 5 contracts all the time, I could look at it and be like, okay, maybe let's consider going at this with 2 first, since I'm not entirely sure about this trade idea. That could be one way of doing it, and then adding on to positions. I just haven't done that enough times, for me to 100% be confident about it. You know what I mean? So, we'll revisit that in time. We'll revisit that in time. Our value area low is 518, which we had a test of that. We haven't really tested the value area high. Just watching the delta again. Delta's still pretty positive, so if we can keep adding on to this. I mean, look at the CVD, want some selling intent, got rejected. Not rejected, but I mean, like, there was selling intent, then buyers stepped in, so maybe. Let's see what happens with this candle. It's 11:17. Yeah, because we are right at initial balance again, so have to see buyers step in now. If we're gonna get this up move, we need to see strong intent from buyers, and it's not just a thing of like watching the candlesticks themselves. It's about watching the delta, watching the CVD, watching the big trades. What do we get? What happens? Yo, got to 66.90. What's up, my G? Probably down in the market. What do you mean, my bro? Also, big assumption that you are a brother. But yeah, but thanks, shout out for joining the live. Structurally, our levels are still holding, even though they are just, you know what I'm saying? Well, they're just holding, you know. Um, yeah, a couple of things have kind of worked in our favor. VWAP worked in our favor. Our stop was at 524 at some point, which was the point of control. You know, we would have been stopped out of this shade already, you know, which we'll see. And right now, we don't have any hindsight, so there's no telling whether that's where we should have actually just accepted our stop. I did say, if you are just joining the live, I did say I'm targeting 556.25, and where I'm getting that level from is I'm getting it from the composite volume profile, which is a volume profile for the last 20 sessions. So I'm targeting the value area of that. 550, 550. 554. It really should be 554. So, you know, that's where the logic for this current trade is coming from. You know, there's a volume node here at 543, 543.50. There's a high volume node there, so maybe that's also what's keeping us, you know, within this range. You know what I mean? High volume node, low volume node in between. So, but yeah, but a break above 543.50. We'll mark it up. We'll mark it up here. 543.50. Just put a little trend line. Oops. All right. Let's change the color for this. Let me make this green. Yeah. So we can break above 543.50. I mean, yeah, we would have broken these highs 541.75, but that's a high volume node. You know, if we can find support above this, then we should be good. I think I would be comfortable with putting our stop maybe at 541.25. Now, but we would need a clean break over 543.50. You know, so again, just have to watch the delta. And yeah, and see. But initial balance so far seems to have held. Maybe we could start. I mean, it would be greedy to start thinking around levels above 554. I feel like this is already a lot, to be honest. That's kind of a lot. Rightfully so, I guess. You know, it is a level, but everything else above it is not within value. You know, for the last 20 days. So I don't know. I would like to just, like, you know, we hit that, we take that, almost ruined the account already. So I don't want to be here longer than I have to. You know, before I start making some really, really questionable trades, you know, which I kind of already have. You really think about it. But here we go. CVD's really stepped up here. You can see that volume. Buyers have really stepped in there. And again, you know, but we need price to follow. There we go, 540. And look at our delta at 5K. So was that? Oh, it's not a sweep yet. Is this our value area? Yeah, it's our value area high, 539, 539.25. So break above 539.25 and, break and close above, you know. So what does that look like? A break and a close above would be a clean candle above. We hold that, okay? So we break cleanly above it, strong candle, we hold above that, maybe another two candles above, we come back, we retest, and then for sure, then I'd feel a lot more confident about where we're going uh, with the rest of our session. You know, also that being supported by our CVD. If we see big trades stepping in, you know what I mean. We don't have any other levels at this point to use. You know, all of our levels, the levels that we could have used were right at the beginning of the session, and we missed that trade. Right, we missed the break of the overnight point of control of the overnight value area high. We missed that. Right? Not really that we missed it, but more so we didn't get a retest of this level, which is what we tried right at the beginning of stream. But we didn't get this. Right? We didn't get a retrace and the retest of the overnight value area high, which is fine. We did try to short from what was the value area low, targeting what was. We tried to short from the value area high of this profile, trying to target the value area low, and then we read on the on the volume profile, just reading the delta, we saw that that move wasn't being supported with with strong selling momentum. This was around here, right, where you see this consolidation, right? We were looking for this point of control. This point of control was a value area high, you know, and we didn't get that result in a move down. We moved our stop from where it was, which was at the top of this candle. We moved it lower, and we took that stop, so we could then play again. But we're here now. Just need to see more. Just need to see more delta stepping in now. Just kind of positive. I mean, we're at 539.75, which is that value area high. Saw the CVD shoot up. So again, strong presence of buyers that stepped in there. Everything kind of just froze there for a second. But yeah, but this isn't a very strong break. You get me? It's not a very strong break. Let's zoom this out a little. Again, we're looking at this 539.25. We need a clean break above that, which I guess on trade C we've not really got it, but we are above 539, 539.25. And here we go. Here's that high volume node also at 543.50. This is the high volume node I was talking about from the composite right here, 543.50, right, which is a naked point of control. If you're looking at this volume profile over here, right, 543.50. So yes, we need a break above that, and then a break above this, and it is looking pretty thin. I guess just from this volume profile over here, there's not much price, there's not much going on there, so we'll play it one candlestick at a time. All right. But yeah, clean, not really a clean break. We need a full candle close above this value area high. Because this barely even swept the top of the last high, 541.75. It's much better. Maybe this is the retest of it and we break above. If Delta can get up to the 6,000, then we're going to see a big, strong impulse. We're going to see a big move up. You know, we need this number here to shift from the 5,000s to the 6,000s. You know, so for a lot of for a lot of orders to come and hit the ask. You know, to hit the ask, and then pretty strong rejections over there, man. Is this an exhaustion move over here on the CVD, or is this just like reloading? We do not want a retest of that CVD, not of the CVD, of the initial balance. We need to stay above value. We need to stay above value area high right now. You know, we need to start making more value. We need to start making value above the value area high. You get what I'm saying? That's what would be a confirmation of this move is being supported. Do you know what I mean? And here we go, CVD. About 540. We're not too, yeah. I mean, it's not dead yet. And a little consolidation at the top here isn't too bad for us, to be honest. It shows that there is intent to move it higher. You know what I mean? Here we go. Just as I was saying. We need the CVD to pick up a little. Need to see some more volume. Probably the dangerous part is right now because we have broken those highs. So is there a reason? Is there causality for this to move lower now? You know, after having swept the highs, do we stay above 541.75? Oops. We'll break even for the day. I mean, as ish we were. $542.75. 542.75. So right here. Still haven't quite hit that volume node, you know what I mean? I'm reloading. We see now we're within value again, which it's not what we want to see. Not right now. You know, it's not what we want to see. We don't want price back inside value. Because anytime we move back inside this range, right? Anytime we move back inside this range, there's reason to rotate to the other side of it. You know, there's reason to come all the way back at 518. You know what I mean? Which does, I agree, it does seem dramatic, but you know, it's back within 70% of the range. You know, and the fact that we couldn't hold above that 70% kind of tells us that, at least for now, that there's no intent of transacting above, right? There's less interest of transacting above the 70% of value. You know what I mean? So we do need to see us get back outside of this value area, right? The value area is demarcated by these marks, the red line at the bottom, the red line at the top, and the red line at the bottom, right? And this orange line, that's our point of control. This is also what we need to start seeing move higher. You know, our point of control still being within initial balance kind of gives me a little PTSD. Kind of made me feel like we could get back there, you know. So, and there you go. You see now sellers have stepped in. Let's wait and see. And our delta's also shifted lower, you know. So remember our delta. This is the number I'm watching here. We're in the 5,000s now, in the 4,000s. You know, so it's not necessarily good. And our CVD is also showing a lot of selling pressure, at least a lot of selling intent. If this continues, but our price, like the candlesticks close blue or green, as you'd be looking at, then it would mean that these sellers are being absorbed by a buyer. That there's someone who's taking all of those sells and keeping the market higher. You know. This is a really long trade. It's kind of turned into an intraday swing trade. is not my intent. This is not my intent at the beginning of the session. Yeah, I mean, the sellers, strong presence of sellers here. I don't know if they're gonna get supported. And then sellers at the bottom of this candle. Unless if this candle can stay, bullish, then we're good. But if it closes beneath this, and you know, if it closes below 536.75, then we are gonna be in. I don't want to say trouble, but what we want isn't really gonna work out the way that we would like for it to work out. So need another break of 542.5. If we get a retest of 542.5 and we stay within value, then see what I'm saying? Didn't want this candle to close in this way. But we did have the same thing kind of happen earlier. Not that, it's going to be the exact same thing, but I mean, round about here, we did have this little down move. Could be a little awkward and a little uncomfortable, sitting through a little bit of drawdown, especially when we could have, excuse me, closed out the trade and closed the day at break even. More of those type of days you have, the more, I don't know, I just kind of feel like you just have to work twice as hard the next day, so just need to sit tight. And not make any sudden movements. I think at 12 midday, 12 EST, I think I will end the stream because I've been here for a very long time now. I got to have fun at the gym, brother. Yeah, I haven't done that in a long time. But yeah, have fun at the gym, and catch you tomorrow, same time, 9:30 EST. But yeah, appreciate you for being here. But yeah, I was saying, I think at like 12 noon, if like we're still in this trade, if we haven't been stopped out, or if we haven't taken our if we haven't hit TP, and then I will get off stream, and I'll just manage this off stream. I mean, yeah, because I've been here for quite a while now, but almost 2.5 hours, 2 hours 20 minutes. So we'll give it. What's that? We have another 15 minutes. So let's have a look at like other time frames and see if there's anything that gives us any confidence that we're doing the right thing, or kind of tells us to get out. I'm not really a high, low type of person, but I guess kind of looking at it like this, you know, for sure, an invalidation point is 518 because that's a rotation to the other side of this volume profile, and also it is a break of our view app, right? I don't want to see us come back to the view app though, so let's also keep that in mind. Uh, how this candle closes is going to be important. This 5 minute candle, you know, oops, I'm trying to zoom into this chart. Yeah, if we can get a more positive close to this candle, or maybe even not that. Uh, yeah, but here's a retest of the value area high, right? Which has also shifted higher. So is that a good thing for us or not? Switch back to the 1 minute. I'm alright with the value area high moving high. I just also would like to see the point of control move, you know. But we also haven't created enough volume like above these levels for us to, you know, then have a clean structural shift of that, you know. Like look at this. Like this is 524. Uh, what's the volume here? Total volume 4,000,000 400,000 44348, right? And where we at here? Maybe the next point. Total volume 45086. So I mean, we should have a shift over here, you know. But do we need things to change? But here we go. Break of this surely. Break 442. 442.75. 542.5. That's our value area high. Here we go. 543. It's much better. 543s. There we go. And our delta's picked up. You see that? I like that. I prefer that. Five 4325. That's our volume node. Yeah. That's our high volume node. Come on, Remonstrada. I genuinely hope we can get this dub together on stream, man. Like, rejected. Five 542.5. Break and retest, hold above 542.5. And maybe, you know, then maybe that's the break and retest. 542.5. Oh, here's the retest. Well, value area high has shifted higher. 540.75 now. And our CVD is also picking up. So we're kind of right. We're not in too much of a bad space right now. But that's as long as we can hold that 540.75. Just need to hold that 540.75. And a break above what's that 543.50. As we'd marked out, which is the high volume node that we drawn out on the composite volume. You know. CVD is picking up, man. We're showing intent. I'm showing intent. Just need price to follow now. If you're watching the CVD, like the CVD moved up quite significantly. So we need that candlestick to follow. Otherwise, it's just like big absorption. You know. Otherwise, it's a lot of sellers trying to get past the level, and they're just being absorbed. 540.75. That's the retest of the value area high now. Do we fall within it or do we break above it? CVD also just picked up. I'm gonna show you guys, just watch on my motive wave, right? The big chart, the main chart, right? On the right, cumulative delta. This is what I'm watching over here. When I'm saying the CVD is picked up, I'm watching these candlesticks, but I am also watching this number. I'm watching this 5,000, whatever this number is at the same time. Okay, because what that number represents is it represents the delta, right? And the delta is asks minus bids. So it's a simpler way to explain it is buys minus sells. So if it's positive, it means there are more buys than there are sells. When it's negative, it means that there are more sells than there are buys, right? Because for example, if there are 5 buys and there's 3 sells, right? Your delta is going to be 2 because 5 minus 3 is 2. But then if there are more sells than there are buys, so if we have 5 buys, like our first example, but we have 7 sells, then our delta is going to be negative 2, right? So how am I watching that number and how am I making sense of it? Well, if the delta shifts from 6,000 to 5,000, right, it must mean that more sellers stepped in at that point, Okay, cool. And if that number keeps getting lower and lower and lower, it means that there are more sellers stepping in, which is why the delta then just keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. But yeah, here we go. We're at that volume node again. 543. If we can hold above this, fam, I promise you, we are so good. It will make having to have waited for this trade, it would make it like so much more worth it. Let's not be dumb. All right, we'll move our stop. Yeah, let's hold this. 541. Okay, buyers stepped in there. We need these buyers to continue this up move. Otherwise, we're gonna rotate. All right, because they're right at the top of this candle. So we need this candlestick to turn bullish. You know, if this current developing candlestick, right, we need it to close blue. You know, because that's big buys at the top there. You know, if they don't get result, it means that sellers move this lower. You know, but our CVD is also looking like it's on our side for this. You know what I mean? So there we go. Even better. More buyers stepped in. And our delta's even shifted higher. Now we're at 6955, 546. Okay, look, we're 10 points away, guys. Uh, need this up move to continue now. 547, 550. 550 seems like a logical place where we can get ours, where we could put our stop, to be honest. We're going for 556. All right, look at that. Sellers try to push this lower. Let's look at that composite again and see where we can logically put our stop now. All right, because we're above this now, right? I mean, we put our stop at 541.50. We could get a retest of it, eh? So we are kind of in that territory where it's either we get everything we want or we get a little bit of something. You know, so we do have to put some consideration into that. We have spent a lot of time trying to manage this trade and trying to stay within, you know. So we are going to be looking at 543.25 to be the last place where we hold, you know. So if we come back and we get a retrace of that, I guess cool, right? Of this level, of this green line over here. Yeah, we want to hold above this. We want to hold above this level now. Let's turn it red. Oops. That's not how you do that. Just make that red. We want to stay above this level, 543.50. Let's take this back. Let's put this back at break even. Just in case. Just didn't like where that was with the stop. Yeah, low key. Let's give that a little more risk. I mean, should be securing profits, but as I said, it's one of those things where we get everything that we wanted to come and get, or we get stopped out for a little. And I want everything that we wanted to come and get. Maybe that's a little ego and whatever, but we have been working at this for a very long time. And it is midday now, so I should be getting off stream as I said I would. But since we're here, let's watch it together. Here's that level that we want to hold. Remember, this is that volume. This is the high volume node, right? The red line is the volume node. What do I mean? Which volume node? The red line is this volume node. Yeah. So we want to stay above this now. Okay. This is our target, 553.25. I guess it's not. It's not a train smash. I mean, it's what? 553.25. That's what we're going for now. So we are somewhat there. Gonna make this 560. It's gonna keep us here a little longer, but targeting this volume node now instead. Yeah, actually target more here, 560. Could be being it might be a little greed. Don't really want to watch like my P&L because I feel like that's gonna make me take profit when I really don't want to. I think like we still have a little more upside on this, and if we can get more, I would like to see us get a little more. For 549.50, 550 is a psychological level, so do we hold that or do we break above that is also a question, right? It's also what we also need to consider, whether we break above 550 or not. You know, this low 544.75 now, and we have accepted volume, right? We have accepted volume here, so should have a little more upside. Just gonna have to watch it very carefully and manage this very gonna have to manage this very smartly. You know, gonna have to be very smart about this. Just watching the CVD and watching the delta as well. Yeah. Okay, sellers stepped in right at the top of this candle. Do they get results or not? If we see them get result, then I think we can get out of this trade. But I mean, look at that. They're right at the top of that candle and they didn't get any result and move down. So right at the top of that candle, right at the top of this blue candle. 7,600. That's our delta right now. Is it supporting our move? Yes or no? Can we break above 550s? 54975. Okay, look, big buy stepped into the top here. We need to watch this carefully as well, because if this doesn't close positive, right? If these buys are just left at the top of this candle, then we might get a reversal. We just need this to continue higher. 54975 again. Obviously some form of resistance at 550. If you think about it, that's a psychological level, right? But our delta is picking up 8,000. There we go. 551. $8,100 on the delta. Hey man, look. It's been a long day. Here we go, 551, 552. These buys at 550. That's our target kind of hit. 549, 250, guys. I mean, hopefully this holds. If this doesn't, that's the end of the stream. That's the end of the trade. We'll just have to come back again tomorrow. $549.25. I need 550s to hold. If 550s can hold, then maybe we have another 10 points above. But our delta is not supporting that, so I think we're gonna get stopped out anytime now, guys. But look, we'll take that. That's a $200 day. We could be a little more proactive and like hold this a little lower, but if it does then turn around from here, I would be happy with this. Yeah, I'd be happy with taking this and calling it a day. I did say also I was gonna be off stream by now. It is 8 minutes past 12, so I would like to get some rest. So yeah, so that's gonna be the stop. But yeah, but look, pretty rocky start to the day and pretty rocky management of like some trades there. Well, not of some trades, but specifically of this trade. But yeah, how much did 290 days? So that's kind of our base hit, and we're a lot closer to our starting point. So I'm not gonna stay on here longer than this. This is actually taking quite a lot from me already. But yeah, 552, 553 kind of was our target. I mean, I'm sure if we look over here, we'll see we did hit what I had said, we should be targeting, which is what, 550, 275 ish, roundabout, which is that high, which is the value area high of that composite volume profile, right? As you're seeing over here, I guess like 550, 250 also could have been a target, 550, 225, but stopped at a few points away from that, which is okay. I'm sure if we held this longer, maybe if we held this for another 20 minutes, maybe we're gonna see a 560. But I'm fine with the performance for the day. Um, we'll be better. We'll have to be better tomorrow, just with yeah, we'll have to be better tomorrow, just with like the management of like of our trades. I am gonna have to put the daily loss limit back. I think let's put it at 600. Um, which does make allow me to make my stops a little wider, right? And allows me to risk a little more, you know. But um, yeah, um, I guess I'm okay with that. I'm gonna have to journal this. Let me just confirm that I did keep it at 600. All right, cool. And we do need to make sure that we don't change this anymore. All right, so saying it on stream, 600. That's our entire daily loss limit. All right. Yeah, we'll make that our entire daily loss limit, and yeah, we'll keep it moving like that. We'll keep it moving like that. Risk in 400, profit in. Just make sure that this is a 1 to 2, a 2 to 1 RR or whatever it's called. And yeah, we'll. This is maybe this hits, maybe this doesn't. Not too interested in what it's gonna do after, but we did what we could with the day. So that's gonna be it for me. I'm gonna go get some rest now, and forget about charts for a couple of hours. Until tomorrow, same time, 9:15 EST, 9:15 New York time. So I'll catch you guys. I'll catch you guys then. All right. All right. Peace.